so we're going to talk about the main positions of Jiu-Jitsu, especially for new beginners or people that don't really know what's going on. The first thing I want to talk about is guard. Very common position to be in, but I want to start with talking about postures, where you're supposed to be, what you're supposed to be doing. Like I said, we don't always want to be here. If this is a real life scenario, I'm not always the guy that wants to be on the bottom, but we have a lot of options from here, and that's the beauty of Jiu-Jitsu. The first thing I want to point out is Eric's posture. As you see, his knees are wide. He's not in too close. If he's in too close, he's easy to tip. If he's over too wide, he's preventing too much room. I can start breaking him down too easy. So as you see, his knees are touching right on the outside of my thighs. His upper body is sitting. If he sits too far back, I'm going to sit up here and it's too easy to sweep. If he's in too close to me, I can start setting up my chokes, break his posture down, and start working my game. So Eric sits in a nice, strong frame here. He has his hand usually out, using a fist in the lapels, keep me from sitting up, and his other hand is controlling the hips. As you notice, both his elbows are out. He never has one in or one out because it sets up for triangles and other submissions. So if you have both in, you're okay. If you have both out, you're okay. Now let's talk about my positioning. As you notice, we call this guard. I wrap my feet around his body and I lock my feet together. I don't want to be lazy and have him undone. It's too easy for him to stand up or it's too easy to pass. So as you can see here, my feet are locked. Also, notice my head is never on the mat being lazy here. I'm sitting up, ready to engage at any point. Grab his arms, control, break his grips. So that's what we do in the guard. From here, we'll learn various sweeps, submissions, and obviously for the top guy to pass. Okay, let's next go into half guard. Now I'm going to show a couple different angles in half guard just so you can see body positioning. The first thing I want to show is the bottom guy's position. As you notice, it is half guard for a reason. We have one leg trapped. Eric's legs are figure four. His bottom leg comes underneath, hooks under, and his top leg just comes right over and it traps. My leg is stuck, so I just can't pass through. I'm going to talk as we go through about gaining points. We use that more for the sport of Jiu-Jitsu, but there is a principle behind it, as in getting to a better position gives you more points. So when I pass his legs, and we'll get into side control, you'll get 3 points. Just going from closed guard, full guard, to half guard, there are no points yet. So from here, Eric is up on his side. He never wants to be flat, so he comes up on his side. His arms are in, his elbows are closed, nice and tight. His feet are locked, okay? He has me trapped. As you see here, I'm sitting down on my heels. My knees are trapped against his thigh, and I can start controlling, whether it's control the hands, go underneath his head to lay him flat, and I can start working my passing, just like he can work submissions and sweeps. Let me show a different angle from the back side. From here, I sit down, and as you can see, my feet are just back here. You can be on your toes if you want to. You can lay them flat. This is a little more engages sometimes. And from here you can see Eric, he's up on his side. He has his feet still crossed, so just a little bit of a different angle. Now, we're going to go into side control. Side control here, basically what I want to do is I want to have my elbow next to Eric's head, my hand next to his hip. I'm always blocking his hip. Whether we are in MMA, no-gi, gi, jiu-jitsu, I have to control his hips because his job is to hip out, which we'll see in the drills, get his bottom knee back in and pull me back into half guard, butterfly guard, back to full guard, a better position than me being on his side waiting to attack. So when I'm here, my elbow is next to his head, my hand is next to his hip, okay? I am chest to chest. Now let's talk about Eric's position. His feet are up here close to his butt, which will engage his hips. He'll be able to bridge and hip out. His one hand, the bottom hand, is inside blocking my hip. This prevents him from coming, or prevents me from coming around north-south and getting to a better position. So he keeps my hips blocked. The other hand comes under my armpit. This allows him to keep that safe, and when he turns up on his side, it's easier to swim through. If he leaves it on the outside, I can start attacking key locks, kimuras, all different types of attacks. So he comes under here, protected, elbow next to the head, hand next to the hip. He has his proper positioning. Now this is what we call side control in Jiu-Jitsu. The next position I want to talk about is knee to belly. Knee to belly is kind of moving into more of that intermediate jiu-jitsu. You don't see a lot of beginners playing it, but the fact is we do use knee to belly to maintain mount, to bring our foot over, or just to control our opponent if they're trying to hip out fast enough and turn away. Sometimes it's easier to bring the knee up on the stomach and ride him a little bit. So from here, my knee is up on his belly, my other foot is out, it's kind of like a kickstand. My top hand is going to control a lapel, a collar on him, as my other one controls a pant. Now if this was no-gi, maybe I'd cup under his head, or maybe I'd scoop under the thigh. And right now, basically, I'm just going to ride it out for him until I can either mount or get to a better position, or maybe it's just till I can get back down into my side control position and start attacking from there. Let me show a different angle on that so you guys can see my feet. So when we're here, my foot is up off the mat, my other leg is out as a kickstand, and in a jiu-jitsu tournament, this gives you 2 points for coming up knee to belly. My hands are placed. I'm not doing them any favors by putting my hands on the mat. I want my hands controlling my opponent. The next position I want to talk about is mount. Now, for the mount, I'm here, my feet. You see a lot, feet come straight. I like to have my feet tucked underneath. Their big toes are touching. It allows me to kind of feel where his hips. It's like closing the guard on top of him. From here, Eric has his elbows in front of my knees. His feet are up close to his butt. That's what allows him to engage the hips on a bridge. If he opens his elbows up and I come to high mount, his hips no longer work. If he bridges, they aren't effective anymore. So this is a very bad spot. Whenever he gets there, he works his way back down and gets in proper position. Then he can start working his escapes. Just like me, my job is to peel the elbows, maintain mount, and I can start attacking from there. The final position I want to talk about is taking the back. Now, there's so many different ways. We can go to turtle, we can go roll them from side control, they can go belly down from mount. But in the beginner phase, all we really like to teach them is the concepts of being on the back, staying on the back, and some of the main principles. From here, we have a couple options with our hands. Hands can come underneath, grab the lapels, and control. I can use this to steer him and stay connected. I like my chest against his back the whole time, kind of like I'm a backpack. Now, a couple rules here are never cross your feet. If I cross the feet and he hooks over your ankles, you can get straight ankle locked. So my feet never get crossed. All they use are hooks to steer him as I need to go. Let me show a side angle. We're here. Hand comes underneath. Look, when I start going for my attacks, as I progress in my jiu-jitsu, my hand will come over, and that's going to decide maybe rear naked chokes, collar chokes, or I start coming here to trap arms and stuff. But as you notice, the whole time, my chest stays glued. Okay?